Sha'ban is for Ramadan, is like the sunnah before the salah. You know, when you come for salah, Dhuhr, Asr, and Maghrib, there's sunnah before, it's very special sunnah before the salah. Sha'ban is like that compared to Ramadan. The Prophet ﷺ said, the month of Ramadan, تفتح أبواب الجنة. The gates of Jannah are open. The doors of Jannah are open. The chances for people to make it to Jannah is massive in Ramadan. But when the doors are open, you need someone to knock on them for open. So scholars say, you knock on those doors in Sha'ban. You stand and take your line, your row in the queue to win the Jannah in Sha'ban. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ used to fast so many days of Sha'ban. His wife Aisha said, the Prophet ﷺ never fasted in any other month, apart from Ramadan, except the month of Sha'ban. And Usama ibn Zayd asked him, O Messenger of Allah, why are you fasting so much in Sha'ban? He said, ذَلِكَ شَهْرٌ يَغْفَلْ عَنْهُ النَّاسِ بَيْنَ رَجَبْ وَرَمَضَانَ. This is a month that people are unready for, unaware, heedless. They don't know its value. They focus on preparing for Ramadan. This was the people of the time. I look at myself, I say, Wallah, it's a very sad state. They used to prepare for Ramadan, that's why they're not looking at Sha'ban. We're not preparing for Ramadan or even Sha'ban. Some of us don't know, even in the night before Ramadan, they will ring around. They will ring the numbers, yeah? Is it Ramadan tomorrow? Is it Ramadan tomorrow? You never do that for a flight. It's my flight tomorrow, it's my flight tomorrow. See, our flight is much more important than Jannah. Our exam, much more important than Allah's pleasure. That's how the state that we became focused on dunya success. Getting the job, getting the degree, doing the homework, all this stuff, which is alhamdulillah good. But there is balance. Ramadan, the Prophet ﷺ made dua against those who witness Ramadan and don't win Jannah. He was going and saying, Ameen, 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 just by himself. And the Sahaba says, the Prophet is just saying Ameen, somebody is making dua. They asked him, O Messenger of Allah, why are you saying Ameen, Ameen, Ameen? He said, Jibreel was making dua. The best angels making dua, and the best human being saying Ameen. Oh Allah, please answer the dua. What was the dua? Man shahida Ramadan wa lam yughfar lahu. Somebody lived in Ramadan, witnessed Ramadan, Allah gave him the chance to Ramadan, and his sins is still not forgiven. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, every single night of Ramadan, وَذَلِكَ لِلَّهِ عُتَقَاء فِي رَمَضَانِ وَذَلِكَ كُلُّ لَيْلَةٍ. People think it's the 27. People think it's the last 10 nights. No. The Prophet ﷺ said, وَذَلِكَ, and that, كُلُّ لَيْلَةٍ, every single night of Ramadan is a night of forgiveness. Every single night. And you don't know which one is yours. So you have to prepare, you have to warm up from Sha'ban. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us. We need to prepare. How do you prepare for Ramadan? By starting to fast. Monday, Thursday, 3 days, whatever you can. Start to read Quran. Start to plan your charity, because Ramadan is every single night. You cannot just wait for, and give somebody $200. No, you need to have the $200 divided by 3. Because you never know which one will hit Laylatul Qadr. To win Laylatul Qadr, it has to be every night. You have to make that effort every night, and sure 100% you're going to get Laylatul Qadr. And Laylatul Qadr, better than all your life. Absolutely better than if you spend all your life doing sadaqah, is not as good as being accepted on Laylatul Qadr as sadaqah. The same with salat, same with Quran, same with, every small or big good deed must be trained now, because all of us know you cannot get to Ramadan and start to read Quran in 10 pages or 20 pages a day. It's impossible. It's really hard. You have to prepare now. If you read 2 pages now, in 2 weeks it will be 3 pages, and Ramadan will be 10 pages. But if you start in Ramadan, it will be 20 or 50 pages in the first week, and after that 0 page for the rest of Ramadan. So that is the chance for us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us and accept from us. And just a reminder that this is Sha'ban, And Sha'ban is the month where all our a'mal, everything we do throughout the year, is presented to Allah as annual report in this month. This is another thing about Sha'ban, very special about Sha'ban. The Prophet ﷺ said, وَذَلِكَ شَهْرٌ يُعْرَضُ فِيهِ الْأَعْمَالُ عَلَى اللَّهِ وَأُحِبُّ أَنْ يُعْرَضَ عَمَلِي وَأَنَا صَائِمٌ. I like Allah to look at my deeds while I'm doing a good deed. Allah's looking at your report, and then He said, what's He doing now? He wasn't good the last year, but look at him, he's fasting now. Allah is the most kind. Allah is the most caring. Allah is the all forgiving. He will overlook the bad deed in your whole year if you are doing a good deed at the time. And the best good deed is fasting. The best good deed because it's actually non-stop. Just takes you the whole 10 hours. There's no other ibadah like that. Tawaf, you just do 2 hours and you stop. Salah is about half an hour and you stop. Quran is, but the Siyam is continuous every single second. So Siyam is the Prophet ﷺ said, As-Siyamu Junnah. Fasting is a shield, will protect you from the wrath, protect you from losing Allah's pleasure, protect you from evil. Fasting. And even the Sahaba used to get even the little kids to fast 1 hour, 2 hours, skip morning tea, skip lunch, skip off, just train them. Train them to have control over themselves. Fasting is physical. The religion is spiritual, but fasting is actually physical. You stop eating and drinking, you feel the pain. It's physical. But that physical gives the spiritual some strength. Because you give your mind, your heart, your belief, decision to say, you wait for your stomach. You wait, it's not time yet. And you keep looking at it's not time. That is training for us to keep away from haram, to keep away from sin. So fasting is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Sahaba used to wait for 6 months, looking forward for Ramadan. The Prophet ﷺ said, لَوْ تَعْلَمُونَ. If you know the bounty and the blessing of Ramadan, you wish that the whole year is Ramadan. You wish that the whole year is Ramadan. Ramadan is where the angels, including Jibreel, come down in the Laylat al-Qadr. تَنَزَّلُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ وَالْرُوحُ فِيهَا. Angel that numbers, only Allah knows how many of them, they come to this earth to witness Taraweeh, to witness the prayers, to witness the Muslim doing charity and giving iftar and helping the poor and doing, great good deeds. It's the month that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens the gate for us to win His pleasure. The Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا جَاءَ Ramadan, when Ramadan comes, Allah gives us another hand. What? He chained the devil. The devils have big planners. Those who spread mischief, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala control the movement. You find yourself in Ramadan easily, reading Quran, easily going to masjid, enjoying standing for about 2 hours Taraweeh. You actually enjoy, you miss it. As I said, one Jum'ah, I said there is a brother that was doing Umrah in Ramadan. And this is may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us all to do one Umrah in Ramadan or maybe more. The Prophet ﷺ said Umrah in Ramadan equal to Hajj. And another narration said equal to Hajj with the Prophet ﷺ. This is amazing. To be in Hajj with the Prophet ﷺ is just incredible. So this person is doing Umrah in Ramadan, in the last night of Ramadan in Kaaba. They're waiting to see, if the Eid is tomorrow or not. Everybody's sitting, they have rows with 500 people sitting down in the rows. Numbers, and everybody's waiting with the dates and the juice and the bread. And that person is making dua. He's not worrying about the food in front of him. He's not worrying about breaking his iftar. And when the azan was made, that person was just weeping and crying. Everybody's breaking their iftar, drinking, and he is crying uncontrollable. He can't even. He forced the date down his mouth. He forced it. Because it's a sunnah to break your fast quickly. So somebody asked him, why are you crying so? What's happening? Can I help? Are you alright? He says, Ramadan is finished. That's why I'm crying. Ramadan is gone. There is somebody who knows what the value of Ramadan is. Ramadan is the month that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, better than one night, better than 1,000 months, better than 83 years of ibadah. What kind of, if somebody gives you the salary of 83 years, you will just jump and hug him and maybe you will cry for a whole week. If somebody gave you the salary of 83 years now, you think he's an angel. This is not the salary, this is Jannah. This is a place next to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a place that unimaginable. Beautifully unimaginable. So, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us inshallah to prepare. Let's just remind about Ramadan and we start our normal program inshallah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose us the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and Ramadan is our season to celebrate Islam, to celebrate Quran, to celebrate the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So the story tonight is about somebody that used to celebrate Islam. One of the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran. We read in the Quran every single rak'ah about these people. You know, when we say to Allah, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. Ya Allah, guide us into the straight path, into the way, into the same practice of those people that earned your favor. Who are they? Who are they? Is the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah? Because Allah described them. Allah described them in Surah An-Nisa. Allah says, أُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِم مِّنَ النَّبِيِّينَ. You want to know who Allah's favor with? An-Nabiyyin. Who's that? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Was-Siddiqeen. Those who believed in the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and they were so honest. Who? Abu Bakr and the Sahaba. Was-Shuhada. And those who were willing to give their life to hold them to that deen. To deliver that deen for us. How many of them died for the sake of that deen? Was-Salihin. And all those good Sahaba that didn't die but they delivered the message and give it to us pristine like it is. So every day we ask Allah to be with those Sahaba. Every day we ask Allah to be, with them in Jannah. And one of the Sahaba tonight's story, his name was Abdullah. Another Abdullah. Abdullah ibn Hudhafa. Yes? Abdullah ibn Hudhafa as-Sahmi. He became Muslim in Mecca. And he became Muslim at the time where Islam was really, really, really hard. And people were really tortured, really suffering, losing so much just to hold on to Islam. And to the degree that they left Mecca to go to Africa. We say it about it twice. It's called Hijrat al-Habasha. They went to Najashi. Abdullah ibn Hudhafa as-Sahmi went al-Habasha. And when they came back to Mecca and found the same problem, the Prophet ﷺ allowed them to go to Medina. So he did 2 hijrah for the sake of the deen. And the Prophet ﷺ one day he went to give a sermon and said to them, I'm going to send messengers. I'm going to send representatives to the kings of the world. And he chose some Sahaba to deliver the message of Islam to the kings. Well, who were the most powerful kings at the time? The Persian Empire king and the Roman Empire. He chose Abdullah to go to the Persian one, Kisra, the Persian emperor. Abdullah ibn Hudhafa took the message of the Prophet Muhammad to deliver it to that king. You know what that means? It means you may never come back again alive. Nobody is there. Nobody is there to tell the Roman or the Persian Empire what to do. They believe that they have God blood in them. They believe that the royal family is blessed by God. They're not human beings. But Abdullah ibn Hudhafa did not disobey and took the message of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and took it to Kisra. When he arrived, imagine, we just to say when he arrived, he left from Medina all the way by himself on a horse, traveling for weeks. Day and night in the desert, by himself. What kind of commandos is this? What kind of special forces is this? What kind of brave people is this? SubhanAllah. These are the people who earn Allah's favor. People were happy to put their life on the line. He took the message. When he arrived there at the palace, they stopped him. They said, no, you can't go and meet him. Give it to us, we'll deliver it to him. He says, no. The Prophet ﷺ told me to deliver the message to him, I will deliver the message to him. I have to deliver to his hand. They allowed him to give the message. Kisra opened it up with an interpreter. It says, من محمد رسول الله إلى كسرى عظيم الروم. From Muhammad, the messenger of Allah, to Kisra, the king the ruler of Azim al-Furs, the Persian Empire. That was enough for him to lose his mind. He got so angry, he was enraged. How he put his name before my name, he says. It's from Muhammad. How dare any human being put his name before mine? Should say to Kisra. From Muhammad. You know when someone is stubborn, they will just find anything. When Abdullah Saud was going on, he disappeared from the meeting, took his horse, and took off running. By the time they wake up from the shock, he asked the soldiers, go and find him, find the messengers to kill him. They say, oh, he's gone. They tried to look for him, he was gone. So fast, arrived in Medina, told the Prophet ﷺ what happened. The Prophet, he told him he tore his message. He tore it apart. Some of the original messages of the Prophet ﷺ is still in some museum. Some of the original messages the Prophet ﷺ wrote to some of the kings is still in a museum, but this one is torn apart, is never found. The Prophet ﷺ made dua that Allah will tear his kingdom as he told the message. His kingdom will be ripped like that. When the Roman Emperor calmed down, he sent special message to Yemen. Yemen is under his control. Look at this. Iran, Iraq, the whole area, all the way to Yemen, under his control. And the Prophet ﷺ only in about 1 kilometer square. That's what Medina was. 3,000 people. And this Kisra had million army easily. You can send million-man army. He didn't think he needs army. He sent the message to Yemen, to the ruler there. He's Persian also. His name is Bazan. Bazan, go and arrest Muhammad. Send some police, just arrest him and bring him here. So Bazan sent some policemen, just a few policemen, to go to Medina to arrest the Prophet ﷺ and take him to, where the Persian Empire is. When they arrived to the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet ﷺ said to them, it's night time. You're traveling, you need to have rest and food. Serve them food, give them a nice place to sleep. In the morning they say, let's come with us. You're under rest. He said, who is sending you? He said, oh, our God. Our God sent the message to our leader and told us that you will send the message and you have to come to court there, in front of him. He said to them that Kisra is being killed. He was killed last night by his son, Shiraway. Even his son himself also died in the same accident. They looked at him and said, what are you talking about here? Where did you get this news from? Even us don't know about it. He said, yes, my God killed your God. He told them, because this is our God said. He says, my God, Rabbi qatala bukum. Kisra is finished. Even his son is finished. So they say, Wallahi, what you're saying is not true, you know what he will do to you? He will wipe the Arab race from the face of the earth. Not you, the whole Arab race will be wiped out. He says, I'm telling you the truth. They gone back to Yemen. This is weeks, 2 weeks there, 2 weeks back. They gone back to Yemen and they told the leader Bazan that this is what Muhammad ﷺ is saying. Bazan said, if what he said, if what Muhammad ﷺ is true, if the news come to us that Kisra is dead, we become Muslim. We will follow him. Before they know it, the message came in the same night that the Prophet ﷺ told them that Kisra was killed.